worthy. Hello. Welcome to day 8 of the Know Your Child More challenge. Alright, so just give me a minute. I'll be right back. All right, so who is ready? Good evening, amazing parents, and welcome to day 8 of Know Your Child More challenge. I believe that it has been an amazing time of learning, relearning, unlearning. Okay, so welcome. If you are here with me, I want to see you in the comment section. Okay, so type just one word how you are feeling right now. Just one word. How are you feeling right now? How has, just to reflect how this past 8 days has been for you. Okay? So just type one word in the comment section to express how the past 8 days has been for you. Alright, so welcome, and if you can see me and hear me, let me know in the comment section. So thank God it's Friday, right? How has the week been? I believe that we have been reflecting and then connecting more with our children with all of these things that we have been learning. Okay, so today is day 8. Today is day 8, and we're talking about what our children's fears are. So what are our children's fears, right? So if you can see me and hear me, please let me know in the comment section. All right, so who is here with me? Who is connecting with me? Okay, so while we're waiting for that, for those of you joining for the first time, this is Know Your Child More challenge. Okay, it has been 8 days of discovering, of learning. We've been learning a lot of things that ordinarily we don't pay attention to. We may know it, or we are not using that information to be better in our parenting. And if you're just meeting me for the first time, I am Buma Ubufuribo. I am a positive parents coach and the founder of the Positive Parenting Academy. I help parents just like you to overcome the challenges that come with parenting. Okay, I have a Positive Parent Circle where I help parents. It's a parenting community, and I also run the Skill Kit Hub for children 5 to 10 years of age. All right, so there we teach them life skills that will help them to thrive. Okay, so today is day 8. We've been learning, and if you can see me and hear me, please let me know in the comment section. Okay, please let me know in the comment section that you can see me and you can hear me, so that we can start today's challenge. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay, so you can see me and hear me. Enemy, you are welcome. All right, so yes, so I want to hear us in the comment section. What did we get? What was our feedback from today's challenge? What is your child's fear? So let us put it in the comment section. What is your child's fear? So what is your child's fear? Okay, so like I was saying, while we're waiting for our responses. Okay, she's afraid of cockroaches and the dark. All right. So, yeah, cockroaches can be really annoying, right? Like somebody says, like they have 9 lives. Even when you've killed them, you think they are dead. You need to kill them like 3, 4, 5 times before you're sure that they're actually dead. That cockroach is a lot of people, they are scared of cockroaches. Okay, so I was saying, in the group that children are born fearless. So if you join in, welcome everyone that is joining in. Please, if you join in, type in the comment section if you're ready for this challenge, and then drop your feedback. Okay, what is your child's fear? So NME, Learning with Dr. Amy, says that her daughter is afraid of cockroaches and the dark. Okay, she's afraid of cockroaches and the dark. So like I was saying, children are born fearless. We are all born fearless. So the only 2 fears we have when we are born is the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. Okay, every other fear that we currently have, it was acquired. Haven't you wondered, when children are still very small, 1, 2 years, they want to jump, from heights. They want to not even heights, like they want to try out things. They want to climb. They are going to navigating places, and you're like, no, don't go there, don't do this. They are not seeing how you're seeing, because to them it's not something that will cause them any harm. So they are just out to explore. They just want to make a sense of their world, and they talk without restraint. They see things they want to go and touch. They see fire. They don't know it's something dangerous. So if you leave them, they can go and touch it, right, and do things. So we are the ones that like set those boundaries, help them to distinguish what is safe and what is not. If not, if you leave them, they can do anything, okay, without boundaries. So I used to say, there are walls, buildings without walls, right? So there's no boundary, because they are born fearless. They can take on any challenge. They can do anything. Their mind is not designed to be afraid. Now, as they grow, okay, they begin to develop all these fears that are acquired. Good evening, Hassana. You are welcome. Okay, so as you join in, please drop in the comment section your child's fears. Now, as they grow, is when they acquire most of the things that are, scary, right? Now, why is your daughter afraid of cockroaches and the dark? If you can respond to that, Learning with Dr. Amy, why is she afraid of cockroaches and the dark? Because there's a reason. Okay, all right, no problem if you couldn't get the feedback. So you just listen, and then you work with what it is that we are discussing. So please, Learning with Dr. Amy, can you tell us why your daughter says she's afraid of cockroaches and the dark? Now, fear generally for everyone, like they say, is an acronym: false evidence appearing real. Okay, now what can we do with this information? You would need to, now depending on what it is your children are scared of. Most children, feedback I get is that, like the time I had a session with children in my daughter's school on emotional intelligence, when I was getting feedback from the children, okay, one of their major reasons why they could not express how they were feeling is because they were scared. Now, in this part of the world, we try to instill so much fear in our children, because we believe that, that is what parenting is about, making them scared. Like if they don't comply or do something, we put fear in them. When they're about to do something, we make it look as if, it's something that they need to be afraid of before they can overcome. So without knowing it, right, there are so many things that we are projecting, on our children that becomes a source of fear. Now, generally, okay, people are born with some type of fear. So, for instance, there are people that are claustrophobic, okay? There may be people that, that are scared of, um, there's a word for insects generally, not just cockroaches, okay? There are some specific fears, those ones are just like increases, if I would use that word, that they are born with. But beyond that, there is something that is important that I needed to discuss, in relation to this challenge. Fears on our children, and we don't even know it. Okay, so so you see, she was told by one of her friends that cockroaches eat people's hair and teeth. This is really funny. She's afraid of the dark because she imagines that there may be scary things around. All right, so now this is very important, because like I said, the world, is screaming. Their voice is everywhere. You must ensure that your voice is the most prominent. And how do you do that? It's through repetition. Okay? If you talk today, you don't talk tomorrow, you would never make an impression in your child. And the best time to make that impression is now, before they are 13 years. Now, the Bible says that, that's one of my favorite quotes, and is one of the Bible verses, that I've helped my daughter to memorize. It says that, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Okay? Now, anything that we fear is just our insecurities that are projected. Okay? And a lot of times we are projecting it on our children as well. And there are several places in the scripture where it talks about fear not, fear not, fear not. And why is this important? Now, when they are small, okay, we may look at it as insignificant. Okay, is it not just cockroach they are afraid of? All these things that are not really important. But it's important that we start now, okay, to help them to face their fears. Why is this important? Because if they begin to have fears in certain things now, it's going to affect them later in life. Now, we're not saying that they should not be cautious when it comes to certain things, okay? But the goal is not to project fear. It's not to project fear. So, for instance, a lot of people, are skeptical about helping your child to navigate spaces on their own, teaching them how to go out at a certain age because you are afraid of strangers, you are afraid of this and that. But your child will not always be at home, and then you project that same fear in them, such that when they are even faced with a situation, they are so scared that they can't even think of how they will navigate their way. So you need to begin to help them. Now, where do you start from? It's from those areas that they are scared of. Like learning with Dr. Amy said, you find out what is the root cause of this fear. Okay? Why are they scared? And now you need to begin to affirm them and tell them things that they need to build them, that they will be able to overcome the fear. And then other things you can do, okay, you help them, to do things, when they get to do things for you, you praise them. You say, you see how you were so brave, you were so strong, and I know that you have it in you. So I know that you are able to, face this thing that you are afraid of because you are brave, you are strong. And you can also show and tell, right? You can also show and tell. And as I said, let us pay attention, and be sure that we are not projecting the same fears. Now, a lot of times, these fears, come from our childhood experiences and traumas. So most times, when we are afraid of failing, we want to make sure that we look good, as parents. We try to project fear, like oh, if you don't do this, you're going to fail, if you don't. So sometimes the interactions we have, okay, the interactions we have with our children may be the things that are even causing fear. Now, if you have fears yourself, you automatically project it on your child. So I'll give you a very typical example. While growing up, and now that we've become adults, I know I kept hearing my mom saying, oh, friends, don't have friends, friends, they are going to disappoint you, they're going to do this and that. Then, it was something that we listened to, but later on in life, I realized that it was her fears she was projecting on us. So she had been disappointed a lot of times, and then she now made that our own reality. So we should also be careful. Okay, so she's, she has this aversion to having somebody close. It's a fear. So fears can be anything, both the fear of creatures, fear of certain things happening. A lot of times we are afraid. Most times the things that we are even afraid of, they don't happen. So if you must raise a child that will thrive, you need to make sure you help them overcome fears. Okay, like Job said, that the thing that he greatly feared has come upon him. So if you raise children that are fearful, they would never get to their maximum. They would never get to their best. And it's in these little things. So help them to overcome it. Talk to them. Whatever it is that they've said is their fear, find out why. Like now, learning with Dr. Amy said, somebody told her. You see? So ordinarily, if she had not heard this, so you can imagine the influence, the influence of people's opinions that is now become her reality. Meanwhile, she can face it. So you need to speak to her, change her mindset about cockroaches. Let her know that, she has the power. The Bible says, like I said, he has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Fear is going to limit them. A lot of things that they would do ordinarily, if they begin to, have that fear in little things, when they get older, it's going to be a problem. Again, talk about the dark. Now, another thing we should also be mindful of is the kind of things we allow them to watch. Okay? So there are some scary, then I had to stop my daughter from watching all these Vampirina, and all those kind of things that are spooky and scary. Because personally, I remember when we used to watch Willy Willy growing up. I don't know if people watched Willy Willy. So when we finished watching all those kind of scary things, already in our mind, so I used to be so scared of the dark, staying alone, and it's, translated in my self-esteem, talking to people and all of that. So these things are important. What you even allow your children to watch and then they hear, it can affect them. Children are born fearless, okay? You are supposed to preserve that fearlessness in them. A lot of times, parents, the way we even discipline, sabotages that discipline. We instill fear in them, and it's going to affect them even as they grow. All right? So what have I said? You need to help them to overcome their fears. So for instance, the cockroaches, you can help them by, showing them and saying, see, I can kill this cockroach. This cockroach is under your feet. You have the power, okay? Speak to them. The next time you do it again and again, and then see them doing it themselves. There are some times, there were some things my daughter was scared of. Initially I was being irritated by it, but I said that's her reality. For whatever reason, she was afraid of it. And of course, she's afraid of cockroaches as well, insects generally, right? So, but I started to help her understand that, see, these insects are smaller than you, okay? You don't have to be afraid, because these fears, without you knowing, they are going to project on other aspects of their life, all right? So you have to start to build them, talk about the fears. What are your worries? Like when they come back, there was a time my daughter was scared about something, that she did in school, that they went and told other people about, and she was like, the next day she couldn't face, her teacher more. She was so scared, she was worried, but in those moments you ask them, okay, how were you responsible for this? What is your fear? What do you really think is going to happen? What is making you scared? What is your concern? How can you overcome it? What can you do about it? If it's something you can't do, it's not within your circle of influence, then don't worry yourself over it, okay? Most times, these things, the conversations you need to have over and over, because fear paralyzes, okay? Fear paralyzes. If you've ever been afraid, you can imagine how your mind was. It will stop you in your tracks. It will not allow you to do your best. It will not allow you to think, okay? So it is important at this stage that we begin to address whatever fears our children are having, whatever fear it may be. Now, if you have not gotten the feedback, when you do, you can also drop it in the WhatsApp group, right? So that we can talk about it. All right, so I've been saying a lot so far. I want to hear us in the comment section. What have I said about fears, our children's fears? What have I said about our children's fears? What have I said about our children's fears? What it is that we're going to be taking home today with us? And a lot of us are also scared. We are scared about a lot of things. I know personally, I'm scared of dogs. My daughter wants a puppy, and we've been going back and forth. And that is largely because of my experience. Most times is the experiences we have, about something. Is it not amazing that you are scared of something and then some other person is not? And that is their reality, and it's all because of the experiences they've had with that thing. So some people may not have had any experience with dogs. I had an experience when we were teenagers. My sister and I were being chased by a dog, as in we were running for our life, like literally. And another time we went to see a friend, they had a dog, and my sister was bitten by the dog. So all these things have made me, scared of dogs. Like, there's nothing you want to tell me, but it's something I have started to learn to try to overcome, because okay, I see that I'm projecting the same fears on my daughter. So a lot of times, most of the things that children may be afraid of, is because of what we've either projected or because of what we've allowed in their environment, in their space. Okay? Yes. So learning with Dr. Amy says, talk about the fears with them and project how to overcome it with them. Use affirmations. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Yes, Hasana says our fears are projections of our insecurities. Very, very key. Very, very key. A lot of parents, and it's also coming from childhood traumas, childhood experiences, and that's why part of the courses we offer is healing your inner child. A lot of things that we may have gone through, we think that it's in the past, but it's playing out in how we relate with our children, how we interact with them, and they can sense it. Some of these things, right? You will see that somebody is going for an exam and they are scared. That is because you've not imbibed in them that spirit, of being strong, powerful, having a sound mind. And you do that through affirmations. Okay, you encourage them, when things seem as if, okay, I'm having a hard time, something is happening that is making me to be scared, or to worry. You need to keep affirming them, and you also have to show it. And like I said, be mindful of the kind of things they let into their eyes, their ears, the things they watch, the things they see, people they interact with, the programs or cartoons that you let them watch. All right, you need to be mindful of all of these things. Okay, not to project. Okay, so Hasana says we need to be careful not to project our fears on our children. very, very key. So most times children are scared, and then also is the way we relate with them. So one of the ways people, like I said, most parents discipline is through fear. You instill fear. If you don't do this, I'm going to do this and that. You scare them. I'm going to do this. This, they say, if you don't do this, something will come and bite you. All those kind of things, they shouldn't be seen. We shouldn't be seen saying all those things. If you don't do this, the mosquito will bite you. If you don't do this, making them scared, and you think that you're disciplining. No, you're instilling fear. You're instilling fear without knowing it. Okay, you are supposed to be the ones building them instead of instilling fear. Instilling fear is not an effective way of discipline, and I see a lot of parents do that a lot. Okay, so let us desist from it if we do. All right, so I hope today's session was insightful. Today is day 8. We are carrying on. If you have not signed your kids up, so some of these things are mentioned as skills. Okay, they are skills that you build in them. Confidence is a skill. It doesn't just come naturally, unless probably you have that personality, right? But it's a skill you need to build, and that is what part of what we'll be doing in the Skill Kids Hub. Have you signed your kid up? Have you signed up for it? Okay, registration is closing on the 22nd. That's like 2 weeks from now. All right, we close registration, and then we start preparing to start in January. All right. Okay, so thank you so much. Go to the WhatsApp group, okay, and tell us what you learned, what you'll be doing differently, and we're gonna continue tomorrow. You don't want to miss tomorrow's challenge, so I'm going to put it up tomorrow for us. Have an amazing weekend. Remember to bond with your children this weekend, okay? And please look out for my book. I will be sending out the pre-order very soon, okay? Very soon. All right, I'll be sending out the pre-order. It's an amazing book. It's focused so much on skills, because I believe skills is the main thing. Okay, if we can build skills, we have solved more than half of the problem that we have in our parenting journey. All right, so I'm hoping that you're going to be one of those that will pre-order the book. All right, so good night and have an amazing night rest. Bye for now, and thank you so much for joining me, Hassana and Amy. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Can you still see me and hear me? All right, so good night. Have an amazing weekend, and my love to Anissa and Eliana.